Okay, so we've got a really, really interesting one today.
Yeah.
Um, this is something that one of y'all sent in, and it's really
Yeah.
it's a deep dive.
Hmm.
That's what we do here. So we're calling this uh, annuities for young investors? Question mark.
Ooh,
Right.
interesting.
So we've got a stack of research. Just like we always do, we did a bunch of research based on what you sent in, and we
Absolutely.
want to really look into this and see if it makes sense. So when we think about annuities, I think most people think about
Retirement
retirement, right?
later in life.
Later in life,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like the steady income thing you get,
Ah.
right, from an insurance company.
The contract, yeah.
A contract, yeah. But, what we want to do today, and I think this is going to be super interesting, is look at it from the perspective of like a younger investor.
Yeah.
Someone who's, maybe in their 20s, maybe in their 30s.
Yeah, early accumulation phase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And the thing is, and this is what's kind of crazy, there's some like pluses here.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, right? There's this
Yeah.
idea of like tax-deferred growth, which we'll talk about.
Right, yeah.
But then, of course, there's, some things to look out for, like higher fees than you might see
Right.
through other places, and then maybe some penalties, if you need to get your money early.
Like surrender charges and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's dive into the good stuff first, right? Always like to start with the positive.
Of course, yeah.
So this idea of tax-deferred growth. Now, I know that can sound kind of like,
Jargony.
jargony. Yeah. But it can be a really, really big deal,
Yeah.
especially for younger investors. So I'm hoping you can kind of break this down for us, like why this is even a thing that we should care about.
Sure, sure. So, the simple way to think about it is this. With tax-deferred growth, you're basically letting your money grow and compound without having to pay taxes on those gains every single year.
Okay.
So it's
it's like a little vacation from the tax man.
exactly.
That's
It's a
right.
little break, and that can make a huge difference over time, especially for younger investors who have, more time for that money to grow.
Right, right.
And we were talking about younger investors being in those higher tax brackets.
Yep.
They might be making more money. So this could be a really, really big benefit for them.
Yeah.
Now, one of the studies that you guys sent over illustrated this beautifully.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It showed that if a 25-year-old was to invest, let's say, $10,000 in a tax-deferred annuity, and we assume a reasonable 7% average annual return,
Okay.
by the time they reach 65, that could potentially grow to over $70,000.
Wow.
Now, compare that to a traditional taxable account where you're paying taxes on those gains every year. That same $10,000 would only grow to a little over $50,000.
That's a $20,000 difference
Yeah,
just from avoiding those taxes early on.
exactly. That's the power of compounding. And it's something that a lot of people, I think, really underestimate, especially when they're younger.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, thinking about, my own financial goals and everything,
Yeah.
that's a big chunk of change. So, I mean, it sounds great on the surface,
Right.
but, nothing's ever perfect. So what's the catch here?
Right. Well, one of the things that annuities are really known for is this idea of guaranteed income. They promise that you'll have this predictable stream of payments, when you retire, regardless of what the market's doing.
Okay. Yeah, the market's always a little bit
Volatile.
volatile. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
But here's the thing, and this is particularly important for younger investors.
Okay.
Annuities often come with higher fees than you would see in a traditional investment account. Like if you were to just open a brokerage account and invest in, stocks or bonds or mutual funds, and those fees, they can really eat into your returns over time.
Okay. So that's something to definitely watch out for.
Absolutely.
And then you mentioned these surrender charges, right?
Yes. So surrender charges, think of them like a penalty for withdrawing your money from the annuity before a certain amount of time has passed.
Okay, I see.
And these charges, they can be significant. I mean, we're talking sometimes as high as 7%.
Oh,
Yeah. Though, typically they decrease over time. So, after a few years, it might drop down to 6%, then 5%, and so on. Usually, after 7 to 10 years, they disappear completely. But the point is, it's designed to encourage you to stay in the contract for the long haul.
makes sense. They want you to stick around.
Right. But the downside is it can really limit your flexibility. Like
Right.
if you suddenly need to access that money for an emergency or, a fantastic investment opportunity comes along,
Yeah, yeah.
you might have to pay a hefty fee to get your hands on it.
Mm. Okay, so it sounds like there's some definite advantages here, but also some potential drawbacks. So I guess the big question is, in what situations do you actually see an annuity being a good fit for like someone younger,
Y-
someone in their 20s or 30s?
Yeah. That's the key question, isn't it? It really comes down to your individual circumstances and goals. But there are certain scenarios where an annuity might make sense for a younger investor. For example, let's say you've already maxed out your contributions to your 401k and your IRA. You're really good about saving for retirement.
Right. Doing all the right things.
Exactly. Well, an annuity could provide an additional avenue for tax-deferred growth. It's not necessarily a core investment, but more of a specialized tool.
Okay. I'm starting to get it's like another tool in the toolbox.
Exactly.
Not the hammer, maybe, but like a special wrench or something.
A specialized wrench. I like that.
Yeah.
Or let's say, guaranteed income later in life is super important to you. You really value that predictability. An annuity can help create that income stream. And of course, if you're looking to, add a low risk component to your portfolio, an annuity can do that too.
Okay. So it's like different situations, different tools, right?
Exactly. It's all about finding the right fit.
And that's where I'm assuming working with a financial advisor comes in.
Absolutely. It's crucial to work with a financial advisor, especially when you're dealing with something as, complex as an annuity. They can help you navigate the different types of annuities, understand the fees, and, make sure it aligns with your overall financial plan.
Makes total sense. I mean, it's always a good idea to get some expert guidance
Mm.
when you're making big financial decisions, right?
Always.
All right. So if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like annuities can potentially offer some really attractive benefits, especially those tax advantages and the potential for guaranteed income. But they also come with some things to be cautious of, like higher fees and less flexibility.
Precisely. It's a balancing act.
The balancing act. I like that.
The key is to carefully weigh the pros and cons and see if an annuity actually makes sense for your individual situation.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much for diving into this with us. This has been really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
And for all of you listening out there, here's something to ponder. Could incorporating an annuity alongside, your more traditional investments like stocks and bonds actually create a more balanced and secure long-term plan for you? It's something to think about. Keep exploring these ideas. Keep those questions coming. And until next time, happy investing.
Yeah.
Bye.